Good morning. You are live at the Social Media Masters, and I have a special guest for you today. But first, some music from my husband, Michael Howard, composer of original music scores. Hope everybody's having a great morning. It's Friday. That means for many of you, the weekend is free and yours. So it's a good time to grab a cup of coffee if that's what's best for you in the morning. Maybe grab a snack or some breakfast. But we're going to start free mini reads, and I've got Maria Heller of Maria.net right here in the house. Check her out. I'm hiding her for you right now, but I'm going to bring her on the line once we have people. So these are how the rules are going to go today. Quiet in the pit, Michael. Thank you so much for your beautiful music. If you love piano music and original piano music, check out Original Music Scores on Facebook, and there's free downloads. Michael produces all of his music for free because we're going to monetize it in other ways. Michael's music will always be free to the people. Isn't that a crazy marketing ploy? And I'm going to make him rich doing that. So consider free. I know how to make free really work. And that's why today we're going to do some free mini reads with Maria. So if you're on the line and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to see what this is all about, this is a really, really, really good time to start putting comments in the feed, because I'm going to be reading through them to see who has questions, whether it's about, your love life, your work life, are you going to move, whatever it is. We're going to ask you to lead with your birthday, and then we're going to see what Maria thinks. But kind of like having a Zoltar in the house. I'll tell you, growing up with the psychic as a mother, oy vey, every corner right there. I'm like, hello, can a kid cut school? No, not really. It sucked. Anyway, please welcome and a big round of applause for my mother, Maria Heller, the mouth that roars, MariaHeller.net, the longest podcast on the internet with a minimum of 300,000 followers listening every single month. Welcome, Maria. And how are you doing today in Payson, Arizona?
I'm great. I'm feeling great. Good to be here.
Great. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback, so I'm hoping that the audience is not hearing that. Hey, Margarita, great to see you. Aaron in Florida. I know you live in Winter Park. It's good to see everybody here. If you have any questions for Maria, Brittany, hello, good morning. If you have any questions for Maria, this is a good time to put them in the news feed. That was my husband crossing the screen. He loves when I'm taping live, and everything needs to be perfect in the house. So, Maria, Mom, how long have you been reading for people? Was it 83?
I've been doing reads for people since the early 80s. And,
that's what
I was always aware since I was 4 years old. So, my grandmother was very gifted, and people that are in the know that it usually skips a generation. And out of all her children and grandchildren, she passed her gift on to me. And then when I was 4, I got hit by a truck. And when I came back into consciousness, I just knew everything, literally. So, and when I was a kid, of course, growing up in Brooklyn in an Italian Catholic neighborhood, telling everybody what I knew about them, they all nicknamed me the Antichrist, or as Italians call it, the Mala Cristiana. So everybody was afraid of me because I just could look at them and tell what was happening in their lives. So like I always tell people, my first psychic delivery was also my first flying lesson because I got a good slap across the face. So I realized as a kid. Huh?
You were like a snitch in an Italian neighborhood.
Well, I just knew things. I knew who was stealing from my mother. I knew who was messing around with somebody else's husband. I mean, I didn't know about sex because I was young and innocent. But I remember going up to one woman and saying to her, "You want to kiss my father, don't you?" And I got slapped in the face and sent across the room with that slap. So I figured, this can't be good. So I tried to keep my mouth shut until I grew older.
That's not even a story I've ever heard.
I've got plenty of stories you haven't heard. And then when I was about 17, it just came back so strong. There was nothing I could do to stop it. because I wanted to be like everybody else, but I wasn't. And it's my intuition that also helps me do my news shows, because I can see what the real truth is and just put out the real truth of what's going on, which I doubt any other news broadcaster can do. So I figured, well, if I'm stuck with this gift, I might as well find a way to use it. And I've been doing reads for people for, well, since the 80s, professionally.
It's very odd for me to interview someone who's as verbose as me. I could tell that you're used to being the one in charge of interviewing, Ma.
That's what I do.
My show today, bitch.
I remember the last date I went on many moons ago. The man, after the first half hour at dinner, he said to me, "Are you interviewing me?" And I started laughing, and I said, "Well, I guess I am." Because I'm so used to interviewing people for 20 years that it's just a natural thing.
Everything becomes an interrogation.
It does.
The bottom of everything as fast as possible.
Of course.
Mom, when we first moved to Arizona, and I was in my early 20s, a couple years after I moved there, I guess, I remember you being on the front page of the newspaper for working with the police in Arizona. Just tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll go right into the reads.
Well, I worked with the police in New York. And then when I came out here, in actuality...
Stop. How do you work with the police? Like, do they...
They had cases. Well, here's a story you never heard or remember.
Story. I have a question, and I will get it answered today. So we don't know how you work with the police. So do they call you and say, "Hello, is this Maria the psychic? Do you think you could help us with a murder mystery in upstate New York?" How does it come about?
Well, that happened here when I was living in the Valley. I believe it was either Channel 12 or Channel 15. They had found out about my work because I had made the front cover of the Republic several times, teaching the medicine wheel, ghost busting, doing blessings on people's new businesses like Terry's Consignment, Schlotsky, so many places. And they used to set up in my living room once a month and do a segment on a news story and ask me about it. And most of the time they were crimes.
Oh.
And then one year they came and sat up in my living room. And at that time, a little 6-year-old girl was missing. And they wanted me to cover that on TV. But when I looked at it, I saw that she was dead. And I told them, I said, "I don't want to film tonight because I don't want to be the first one to tell her parents they're not going to find this kid." And I had seen her laying dead in a culvert, out in the fields. And that's exactly where they found her. And that was the last time I did it because I don't want to work on such dark energy and work with the cops. When I was in New York, when my cousin got married, my aunt made the mistake of putting an announcement in the newspaper. And while we were all at the wedding, her house got robbed. So she called me after her son's wedding crying and told me what had happened. And I said, "Let me look at it." And I looked at it and I said, "Flowers, I get flowers around this." I said, "Your stuff is still in their car." I said, "They're just driving around and I'm just seeing flowers everywhere." And she connected me to the police in Queens. And I told them that. And I did not know that there were several streets around her house named for flowers. And that's where they found the car and found her loot still in the back seat of the car.
How do I not know these stories?
There's a lot of stories you don't know, and you probably forgot. You were little.
Wow.
But I don't like doing that, and because I don't want to see the dark side. If I want to see the dark side, all I have to do is look at the news. So I decided to do blessings, and I did some ghost busting, and that kind of got a lot of attention in the Valley. And some pretty scary stuff that goes on here on people's homes because they're living on sacred ground and they don't know it.
All right.
So I've done a lot of clearings like that, but that's also dangerous work. I see we have Brittany's those are some cool stories. Margarita Rojas had said something, but I couldn't see it. It disappeared.
Margarita says, "Amazing. You've got people saying you're the best woman ever." I see that these are some students of yours that I know are on the line. We have Anna Marie Paulino, my business developer in Canada. She says, "Hi, Maria." She's giving you
her too.
question that I can see. So we're going to have to skip you, Anna Marie, because you didn't finish giving us the question. We'll go on to the next. October 7th. How cute. I'm October 1st. Being October 7th means that you're nicer than I am, because I'm a Virgo, so I'm the week of the perfectionist. So I'm like the most psychotic of all Libras. Wait, my Aunt Linda might be that resembling too. We're just realizing how psychotic we both are, because we read the reviews on Yelp, and every now and then somebody will be like, the coffee was too warm. And we're just like, you go fuck yourselves, you know? And that's what I really want to say. But, you know.
Now. So, let's keep this PG.
I wanted to say October 7th is such a nice Libra. Mom, Erin in Florida, October 7th, 1989. She's happy that you embraced your gift. Again, you guys are giving birthdays, but absolutely no questions. All right, well, do you want to just do it based on birthdays, or do you need a question, Mom?
I need a question. What am I going to tell them? The whole life story? We only have
the first question that was asked, and it is Brittany Jean Rice, and she is April 28th, 1991. She says, I'm having too many baskets going on. Where do I focus my energy in terms of career? Too many things interest me. Wow, I want to answer this after you.
Okay, well, first of all, right now, it looks like her focus is on love and her relationship. And that seems to be taking her time away or making her feel like she's juggling too many things at once. But the truth of the matter is her head is in her love affair right now. And that'll pass in about 3 months when she settles into her new relationship and feels safe. And then I see that she's more gifted than she believes. She can handle at least 6 different things at one time. So stop putting yourself down.
Wow. Mom, I'm starting to wonder if I'm psychic, because I was thinking so many things that you said, and I want to expand on it as well. Because a lot of people say to me, gee, I'm so exhausted listening to you. I need a mic so bad. Where are my headphones? Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Damn, I see your responses, and some of you don't get upset. A lot of your little words are passing away very bad. I want my live interview with you. Well, we have time.
So, Brittany, what I wanted to tell you is people constantly are saying to me, oh, I'm exhausted watching you. How do you do so much? Because when you have so many things that you love, your body makes the energy. You create your own energy. Like I derive energy from myself. So what I wanted to tell you was, don't do that. Don't call out. You know, Mom says you can handle up to 6 things. So I would say now you have a job. Let's make 6 silos, right? And side by side on paper, I do everything on sheets of 8.5 by 11 with a marker. And if you want, text me at 480-258-1392, or I'll put it in the box later. And I'll send you an example of a 12-hour brainstorm I did yesterday and how I mapped it all out. Here's the deal. I own a digital social media marketing company. I own a networking company. I own a national global networking tribe. I'm just opened a film production company. And last night I bought socialinfluencertalentagency.com, and I'm now a casting director and talent scout that's going to sell people as spokespeople to people that need video for their businesses and things. So what I'm telling you is, I want it all. I want to be the queen developer and advertiser at the Social Media Masters, but I also want to be the producer at Big Pig Productions. And I want to be the talent scout, providing, my slogan's going to be, we only have $1 million influencers. And the minimum cost for my influencer is $500 for 30 minutes, which means if you're $250 for 30 minutes, that's the lower bronze level. So anyway, it means, so I've got it all mapped out. So they're going to be like $1 million producers the second I hire them. If you want to be a millionaire, anybody listening, what you have to do is this. Take that $500 an hour number, and that's what your rate is when you're a millionaire. You have to make $500 an hour. So try to start building to where your tasks can be worth $500 an hour. Brittany, that's all from us. We're going to move on to the next question. We don't have a birthday from Irene Gra, but we do have a question. I would love to have both questions and birthdays. Irene, can you give us your birthday, please? Margarita, we need your
Just the
question.
sun sign is enough. She doesn't have to give us a
Okay,
birthday.
I've got one. We've got Margarita Rojas. Her birthday is May 31st, 1962. And she wants to know, a new man has entered my life. Any insight on how it will go?
Well, let's take a look. And understand too, these aren't like in-depth readings, and sometimes some of it is too personal for public hearing. But this looks like a really good relationship. It looks like there's a lot of honesty here. It looks like a real good soulmate match. The sex looks great. So if you're not having sex yet, get ready, because it looks like it's going to be great. And this is a relationship could actually lead to a marriage-like relationship. You might move in together or whatever, but it is very new. So I would advise her to just let it take its natural course. Don't put labels on it. Don't look like you have to define it. Don't put any pressure on it. But it certainly looks like the two of you have had a past life together and agreed to have this relationship now. So enjoy it.
Wow. Congratulations, Margarita. I'm very happy for you. You totally deserve that. That's amazing. Hey, everybody, listen, if you want an in-depth reading with my mother, she's like me. She packs so much in just a half-hour read. You're like, oh, your like hair's blowing back from the wind. She actually records almost all of her sessions if her clients like, because there's so much information.
Absolutely.
And she promised me, because she's like, I don't discount my services. And I said, Mom, I'm like, but these are my friends. They're like my sisters. And she was like, one time for you. And so anybody that is looking to get a half-hour reading with my mom, which is way more than you need, do that. We're going to offer you $50 off anybody that prints a screenshot of us on this and shows us that you've shared this to your wall. So your share is going to be worth $50 off your first half-hour read with Maria. So
and there you have it. And listen, everybody thinks their problems are unique. And yes, like you, I'm a fast talker, as my listeners know. And that's part of the reason I record it, because people like to review it as time goes by. But I also tell people you can't live your life waiting on one reading to the next. You have to live your life so you can make things happen.
Mom, can we go back to October 7th for a minute? Erin
Right.
Doctor. She said she's working really hard to build her career. Is she in the right field? Did she make the right choice? Sometimes she feels herself feeling a bit demoralized. Wow.
Who is this? What's her name?
Erin, October 7th.
October 7th. What are you doing right now, Erin?
Real estate.
Let's take a look. Well, I could see why she feels stressed out, because the money hasn't been there that she expected. And it looks like she's got a lot dumped on her. But her attitude means a lot too. So she's almost creating a self-imposed problem that doesn't have to be there. I think by March and April, she's going to see an improvement in the real estate. But as far as where she's at, when I look at her, she came into this life to be very successful financially, but she's creating roadblocks in her own life. So I would say it might be a good idea to change her thinking, read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People again, and pick up a book called Mind Programming by Eldon Taylor, because I think that'll give her techniques she needs to clear away the negatives.
Erin, what I got off of it was to tell you that this is not a real estate question, that this is a passion question. And first of all, I was in real estate 20 years. I know that demoralizing feeling. When I saw that word, I was like, nah, 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 like the Snoopy sad song. I'm like, I know what that's like. And, in any sales position, it's very hard to not feel like you're doing anything it takes to get that sale done, especially in the lean years. And that never felt good for me. I was really good at it, and it never felt good for me. And eventually I had to walk away from it. So I guess the thing that I would ask you, if you were my daughter or my cousin, is how much are you loving the journey of what you're doing, the excitement of what you're doing? the day-to-day conversations, the taking people around, the open house. Like, are you just like, do you in your spare time look through the listings and you're just like, oh my God, I just found it? Because if not, it's not your passion. I'll just tell you that flat out.
The other thing is, you're not, and we're really good compliments because, of course, my children are gifted because they're my children. My granddaughters are gifted because they're my grandchildren. But I've also made you guys free to be spiritual and to accept these types of using your intuition. But with this gal, the other thing I see, and I don't like to get too involved when we're just doing snap reads like this. But the other thing that I see is she may think I'm totally off the mark. Here's a gal who came in with fabulous artistic talent as a jewelry designer. She would have made a great jewelry designer and made a boatload of money doing it. But I'm not sure because I, haven't done an in-depth read with her as to whether she's done anything with her artistic talent. So, a lot of times we turn in our talent for the dollar and then we're not as happy as we would have been.
It sounds like you don't want to just like go with what your feelings are. You also want to take into account the person that's in front of you, not just what could be, but I don't know. Feedback. I wanted to see if my microphone would do a better job. There we go. Yeah. So Erin, maybe, a half-hour read with my mom would help. But my mom did say one thing that I found was interesting. She said, I don't usually go into this much of a depth on a snap read. And I totally get that. I think, Mom, that the reason that we're going into more depth is that right now we're in my living room. This is my energetic space of my friends, my family. This is my community. And so I think that we're feeling the vibe even stronger with them because we're actually connected to them. They're part of our world. They're in our soul circle.
Well, you're also a little mini me, as I believe both my children and my grandchildren are just parts of me having different physical expressions. So we're all coming from the same place, or as your brother would say, you're all in my protective circle.
So I have a lady, many of you know, and I'm not keeping it a secret anymore. I was on a game show in Argentina with host Mario Lopez, and we won. And I won't announce whether she was a winner or not, but one of the couples we met there, I saw her. I was like, oh, she looks Argentinian. She's gorgeous, long dark hair, blue eyes. And I see her husband at the counter, and he's like a handsome version of Elmer Fudd. And I said to Michael, oh, they got to be with the show. This guy would never go to Argentina on purpose, and on his own dime. So I walked up to them. I'm like, are you? And she's like, and I was like, and we were like, oh, and we were like best friends. They came and visited us in Phoenix, and her birthday, she's also Week of the Perfectionist. No wonder we love each other so much. September 24th. 1970, only 2 years older than me, the lovely, the gorgeous Tiffany Fast Rausch. And I will tell you this, I'm not going to tell you anything else about her other than we both were on a game show with Mario Lopez, but she says she's open to whatever comes. But I would love to know, what you see. I'm going to ask, my question is, what do you see for her future? Because I see something so big, but I could never pinpoint it, and it kills me. And I'm just curious what you see for her future, in addition to her already fantastic life. What do you see for her? There's something more, and I can't.
Well, people also have to realize your future is not set in stone. And a lot of times when I read for people, I tell them, I'm going to give you the next year because the reading the year after will depend on what you did with the information you get this year.
Oh.
It's not enough to just tell people, oh, here it is, this is going to happen. I've never done that with people. What I tell them is, here's your strongest possibility, and this is the direction you need to go. And I give my clients directions to make it happen. If I talk to them further down the road and they say that didn't happen, this didn't happen, what I say is, what did you do with the information I gave you? If you did nothing, nothing happens. Everything in the universe is energy. You've got to put energy behind it. But when I look at her, she came into this lifetime to be an internationally known person.
Mom, I just got chills up and down.
And when I see that, she has a lot of love, she has a lot of support around her, but she also has tremendous help from the other side. Okay.
My whole body's like chills.
She's got two women in spirit that watch over her, but she's also got a man in spirit that she was with way back when in ancient Rome. So these people are here to help her be successful. But when I look at her success, a lot of it is spiritual success and beauty. And I always tell people, when you come in here, sometimes some people, their whole mission is just to spread beauty on the planet. Who better to do that than Libras, who are obsessed?
That's what she does.
But she's got an international market. She's got internationally being known.
Your agent. I'm just putting that out there today. I'm your agent. As of today, I'm your agent. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of you. Okay. And right now, you're $500 for a half an hour. And that's your low. That's the lowest.
Right, take it easy. On the mundane, she needs to get her eyes checked. Her prescription might have changed. She might need she might need glasses. It's not anything major, but sometimes I get the mundane too. And when's the last time she had her vision checked? It's time to do that.
Okay. And just as a recap, just in case you didn't hear earlier, if you guys share right now, just hit that share button on the bottom right-hand corner of the post. That's worth $50 off your first half-hour reading with Maria. So worth sharing. All right. I'm looking. Irene. Irene, she had a question earlier. Mom, Irene is beautiful blonde. Her birthday is August 5th, 1975. Another Leo, to my heart. Same birthday as my sister, my grandmother, my puppies. I love you already. Irene's question earlier was, let me go back. She's been stifling her gifts since she was a little girl. And it's just been recently where she's learning to embrace them. She loves interacting with other people who are utilizing the gifts to help others. Not a question. Sorry. I read it with empathy and concern, though. Irene, where the hell are you?
Well, good for you, Irene.
Oh, okay. Here we go. No relationship questions for her. They're overwhelming for her. Her interest is in figuring out what to do to create a business with her gifts so that she can serve in a greater way. Currently, she is coaching intuitively for family and friends, and she feels challenged in charging. Oh, this is a question right up your alley.
Well, that's an interesting question because Gia, that I've taught painting. I've taught watercolor painting to people. I've taught tarot to people. I have some great tarot students out there, Reiki, and all of them want to know the same thing, even artists. How do I charge? I feel funny charging. People tell you it's a gift. You should give it away for free. Of course, those same people want to earn a living. However, you have to be able to get an energy exchange. Everything in this world is exchange. So if you're doing something for someone, there's nothing wrong with charging them for that, because that's our means of energy exchange right now. It's like I tell people, yeah, in a perfect world, I wouldn't charge for what I do, but I don't get a mortgage check flying down from the heaven every month to pay my bills. And there's nothing wrong with it. And as a teacher, I will also say, what you give people for nothing is usually the value they put on it. Because I have people that are friends of mine that I can give the same advice to. Someone else is paying $250 an hour for, and my friends will not take it because they didn't pay for it. But when people pay for it, they respect it more. So you have to respect your gift enough to get an exchange. And I don't care if it's a trade. Get your hair done, get a massage, whatever works. And I know you're the queen of trade, Gia.
I was listening and I was just thinking that, I mean, you're just so dead on with that. I just recently gave someone $3,000 in barter, and she had questioned the brand that I came up with her. And I looked at her and I said, listen, I need you to consider the fact that you would have paid me $3,000 for what I'm giving you, and I need you to reconsider. Anyway, within a few hours, she's like, you're right, this is the greatest thing. I'm not used to letting control in others. And but I do want to balance what you said about the free, because I totally believe that you do have to place a high value on your work, which is why last night I raised all of my prices, and I actually created, because I thought to myself, I don't want to raise my prices. It doesn't feel right to just raise my prices. And then I remembered what Bill Walsh told me, which was as long as you increase the value, it's okay to raise the price. And so Bill Walsh, master mentor, genius, told me that. So last night I did raise my prices, but there was a reason I was going with that.
Don't worry about free, but here's the thing. There's a difference between free and what I call a giveaway. So even though I charge for certain things, when people ask me to send them long distance Reiki, I never charge for that. That's my giveaway. So when you are making money, you always have to do something for charity or to help other people at the same time. And I use my intuition into who's worthy really and where I want to spend that energy.
Mom, remember when I worked for free and I created Arizona Women Networking, and then 2 years later we had that line of 80 people the night I decided to start charging? And that night we signed up 60 people at $30 a month, and my income went from $0 to $3,000 a month. Those 2 years working for free provided me everything.
Well, I like to call that research and development. I just wanted to make mention that gal I read for, where I told her to get her eyes checked. She had posted that she had a blood vessel burst in her eye, so she thanked me. Yeah, you might have missed the little note that went across the screen. But
wow, I did. Well, there's so many people tuning in, and I just have to hold on.
I know, it's too bad I can't save it all in a stream. If there is a way,
okay, Mom. I want this one answered, so I'm just going to go for it. Anna Marie Paulino, Canada. You know, she's the business developer of my Canadian division. Her birthday is November 25th, 1985, and she wants to know what is stopping her from following the explicit advice that I'm telling her. Do X, do Y, do Z. When you do X, Y, and Z, you'll be here. It's been 14 months. She's great, and she brings in deals, but she's a millionaire in my mind, and she's not going to get there until she starts to follow. What's going on in her life, Mom, that she can't do that, and how does she break free?
Well, okay, some of this is, highly personal, but I'll try to put it in generic terms.
And you know what? We're all highly personal today. I just want to say one thing. When we take our highly personal, highly emotionally charged things and we open them up like this with each other in public, it takes away all their power. Understand?
Well, here's what I see. I see that she actually has a fear of success. She doesn't want to be more successful than her husband. So she's kind of tied into her relationship and not wanting to show him up or surpass him in earnings. I also see her concern with a child. And she really hasn't just grown into her self-confidence yet, but she shouldn't give up because she's very close to that happening. She just needs to kind of be okay with who she is and be okay and understand that it's okay to be successful. So I would say, and to her and everybody listening, why not try this mantra on? And it's a simple one. I'm ready to receive an abundance of joy on every level of my life. And it doesn't matter how that happens. Just repeat that every day. It covers everything from money to health to relationships. An abundance of joy on every level of my life. And the interesting thing is when people talk to their higher self, spirit, God, whatever they want to call it, they always tell them how something has to happen, which limits the universe. Okay, if you honestly believe the universe is limitless and your soul is limitless, then your abundance is limitless too. So instead of saying, I need $50 a week raise from my job, just say I'm ready for an abundance of wealth from the universe, and always add, it doesn't matter how it happens. Then watch the magic happen. But if you tie the hands of the universe, the source, whatever you want to call it, you're limiting yourself. And we all limit ourselves because we've forgotten that we are just as big a part of nature as a tree or a plant, which have abundance, okay? They have an abundance of leaves. They have an abundance of sun, an abundance of health. But humans have been taught to think that, we have to be self-sacrificing. We have to be okay with being poor. This is our mission or whatever. But we're entitled to abundance. Every living thing on this planet is. So just that little mantra, just a little switch in your brain, because I can see that she can do extremely well. And it's not like she's disorganized. What it is her own fear of being more successful than the people around her. And she needs to lose that.
Mom, we have an amazing caller on the line. She's someone that you know well and I know well, and we love her with all our heart. Her name is Kim Noe of Brett Noe Productions. And
hi, Kim. I saw your note a little earlier that you missed me. I miss you too.
Aww, so cute. Kim is July 28th, 1972, and she wants to know if she can move forward with the new program she's been building.
Okay, let me take a look. Is she involved in this with a partner? Because I see a partnership here.
She also says she's struggling with confidence and lack of self-love.
Well, a lot of that is just from other people making her feel bad about herself. So she needs to get over what other people think. Okay, so I'll give you the same advice that I gave my mother when I was 15, who always worried about what other people think. Why worry about what other people think? They don't pay your bills, and they probably don't pay their own. So why do you give them credibility? But I do see an upswing for her. I like this moving forward. It looks like it'll, it's in motion now, but I think she's still going to have to wait till maybe the end of spring to start seeing some money from it. So just keep applying yourself. Just keep doing what you do. And with that lack of confidence, years ago when I taught in Italy with Louise Hay had a really good technique. And I told her right there in Italy, I said, I'm stealing that. Just look in the mirror every day and say to yourself out loud, I love you. What can I do to make you happy today? Start your day like that every day until it switches in your brain. And it takes a certain amount of repetition, and you can flip all those negatives into positives. Because I never had any doubt that Kim was going to be successful.
Oh my God, you're so talented. You're so fucking talented on so many levels. From makeup to cooking. I mean, oh please, Ma, you make sailors blush.
I know, but I save my curses for the news.
But Kimmy, listen, I have these friends, Ryan and I forget his husband's name. They were also on the Mario Lopez game show. Hold on a minute.
Connect, because that seems to help sometimes.
Anyway, listen, they go to concerts like, I don't remember if it was Carrie Underwood. No, bigger star, way bigger star. One was Janet Jackson. What they do is they bring like hats and things that they made and they fucking throw them on stage. And the amount of publicity, and I feel my hit for you on this call was that all these crazy things that you do, you need to spend the money, which isn't going to be much, shipping your things to these celebrities, things that they will love to take Instagram photos with and blah, blah, blah. You ever see Jeremy Lederman? He's been doing t-shirts for like Carrie Underwood. Sorry, Carrie. And like some bands and shit and like public speakers, people know all over the world. This is a great way to align yourself with bigger brands. So as I continue to grow and become more famous, I'll try to drag you in, but I need you to actively be trying to push your stuff out to the influencers. That's what you have to do right now. You have to make yourself every fucking influencer's best friend so that they will keep promoting you, and those will be your salespeople. That was my hit for you, and I don't do this shit, so I'm starting to realize that maybe the way I consult my clients, maybe I am like half social media psychic.
Or as your Aunt Rose's t-shirt says, mirror, mirror on the wall, I am my mother after all.
It is the truth. I sure am. Hey,
Can't escape it.
Do you remember when I was living in Rocky Point, Mexico and partying like a rock star?
Yes, I do.
I had a girlfriend there. We used to have so much fun on her balcony till the sun would come up the next day. There'd be like 50 of us locals up there, and I love her to death. Her name is Shelly, and she's 47, and she's accidentally retired, struggling with finding her direction. Her birthday is July 3rd, 1969, Ma.
Well, let's take a look. Well, I don't see that she was accidentally retired. I see, listen, like I said, sometimes what I see is kind of personal, but it almost looks as though she had a bad breakup and then she put herself in some self-controlled, self-created almost like an imprisonment of her own self, almost like she refused to be happy or to be healthy or even to go out. However, I see that that could all change for her because she's really got a lot of talent. You know, she's good with growing things. You know, too bad you're not in the States. I would say go work on a pot farm. But I think a lot of her stuff was emotional and physical. So one of the first things I would suggest she do is go for a complete physical, and then she can figure out what's going on in her head. Let's find out what's going on in her body first.
If she already knows what's going on in her body, because maybe she's there, then what was the advice if she knows what's going on in her body?
Well, then, you know, listen, we can't do it here because, as you know, in 15 minutes, I have to do my radio show. We're doing our astrology for the month show, which I do every month. But, you know, she may want to. What?
You've been snapping it out, but with her, there's like a lot more stuff.
Too much. It's too personal and it's too deep. So if she wants to get a private reading, I would feel more comfortable about that.
That's awesome. I appreciate that, Ma.
That's the other thing, you know, whatever, you know, I keep my clients' confidentiality the same way I do the people I interview on my show.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it has to be.
But we're assuming that if they're on a live call with us, that they also, you know.
Right, but I've done this in audiences, you know.
I'm not saying with Shelly. Like, I like that when you get the hit that something's clearly, you know, personal. I love that you're not doing that. I think that's awesome.
No, it's just some things that just.
Don't be put off by that. I'm sorry. It sounds like you're joking, Jen. I'm hoping that you're joking, Jen, right? You're joking, Jen, right?
I can't see.
Because she's not joking. Like, I'm fucking freaking out right now. Like, she's not. Well, so Jen Hoffman, I'm going to
time and see if that helps.
That sounds better, whatever you did.
This sounds better if I stay like this?
Yep.
Okay, so let's try this for a while because it switches back and forth. Jen Hoffman was on The Apprentice, and I reached out to her because I was the 21st finalist for season 3, and I went through a lot of what she went through.
Right.
And basically, I wasn't hot enough because I wasn't thin enough, but I did get, it was interesting. So she just had a baby, and I thought that she lived the life of Riley in Brooklyn. And she wrote, "My boyfriend took my baby and my home, and I'm not joking. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I need to keep calm. I'm working with attorneys. I feel like this is personal, but I feel like I need to know what's happening." And she is not joking. I'm like floored right now.
Okay. Well, that's
you already have me, and whatever I can do, I'm here for you 24/7. So I'm here. Don't panic.
Well, she'll have her son. Is it a boy? Because I pick up a boy's energy here.
I don't remember. I am terrible pot brain.
It just looks like he'll be back next month. Should be back with her next month. And she needs to keep doing what she's doing, and she needs to stay out of fear. She needs to stay on top of this with whoever, the cops, the attorneys, whoever is doing this. She's saying a girl. But the energy, maybe her daughter's a little tomboy. I don't know. But it does look like everything will work out for her. She just has to keep calm, and she has to keep at it. And she can't panic, okay? I don't see the child in any danger. But it looks to me that she and her boyfriend have had quite a few back and forths. And he may want, again, to get back with her even after doing this. These are decisions, heavy decisions that she has to make. You know, as your mother, Gia, what I would recommend if something like that happened. There'd be no second chance for him. But that's her, you know.
I'll pay for her read. I'll pay for your read. Jen, text me. I'm putting my number on the screen.
That's, you know, like I said, look, when I used to do this on radio, I only did light, quick questions because certain things are just too personal and I can't get into that. You know, it's just not for public consumption. And I'm not, you know, I want that one-on-one so that I can actually really get into that person's timeline and see what's going on with their soul. And you can't do that in this kind of format. I wouldn't do that because I have integrity. Wow,
that's a big fucking burden. You go, girl, though. You're so strong. You're so strong. You just be who you are because you don't know how to be anything else anyway, and you're going to win and you're going to succeed. And
it should resolve rather quickly.
yeah, I'm sure it will. You're the mom, and you're a great mom, and you're a wonderful person. So yeah, I'm sure it. Jerry, I don't know if this guy's joking. I'm going to go up to the top. Mom, we have Stephanie McMillan, a girlfriend of mine that I met at some networking events in San Diego. Her birthday is March 21st, 1981. Who or what is she supposed to be when she grows up? She's still trying to figure it out, and she feels completely lost.
Well, let's take a look when she grows up. I like that. Well, this is, from what I see here, medicine, the field of medicine really calls to her. And that could be alternative medicine. It could be a doctor, be a nurse. She just looks like a really gifted healer. And that looks like a really good career for her. And whether or not she wants to do that is her business. The other thing I see for her is she's got a real talent for growing things and making things grow, and not necessarily just plants or food or anything like that. So she's an idea girl. She's got a lot of ideas that can help other people. So even as a business counselor, she would do really well.
Just to clarify, Mom, just to clarify, that was idea, the word idea, I-D-E-A-R, idea.
Right. Well, hey, I am from Brooklyn, and sometimes it slips out. But you know what? Here's the beauty of life. Every day when you wake up, you can create a new dream, and you always have choices. When I read for people, I give them their best possibility. Some people don't want their best possibility, so I give them options of what they're good at. But it's always their choice. And I always tell people, when you hang up, you're free to do whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me if you do it or you don't. I'm just giving you the information your higher self is giving me to tell you that you refuse to hear or are incapable of hearing. But listen, Gia, this has been great and this has been fun, but I got about 3 minutes left because I have a radio show right after this.
We'll do one more and then wrap.
Okay.
All right. So Rana Faith Ambrosino, November 29th, 1967. She is open to receiving joy, abundance, and your advice on growing her massage and life coaching practice.
That's great. So what's her question?
Advice on her massage and life coaching practice.
Let's take a look. Well, I don't really see that she needs too much advice to build her business because I think she's a natural at it. But I do see one thing, if she's not already doing it, she needs to be portable. And when I say portable, not just going to Joe Schmo's house down the street, she needs to align with the best resorts, the top places around her, and be an outpatient kind of masseuse. Because I think that's where a lot of her bigger money clients would come in. But I also see her adding a lot of spirituality and spiritual, how could we say, teachings or slogans to what she does. So as long as she stays in the alternative field, she's going to do okay. But she's keeping herself smaller than she needs to be because she's that good. So she needs to hook up with places where people with money go. And she's got to be like, hitting the road. Pack up your massage table and get out there and service the people that can really pay.
Awesome. Mom, what a pleasure it's been here having you today.
It's been fun. And by the way, my listeners want you back on my show. So we have to figure that out too.
Well, we should do a show for them on your Facebook page and direct them there. And we should do something like this. It'd be fun. Then they get to see us. We'll do a lot.
Well, a lot of them don't want to be on Facebook.
There's so much more coming.
I know.
So. All right.
Well, I want to say thank you to everybody, and sorry for all those people that blasted in and out and never got to.
Anybody has questions for a little while longer, so I can stay helping if anybody still has questions. Mom, thank you. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye, everybody. And check out my show. Don't miss it. We do the astrology show every month because we need to know what's coming for sure. Talk to you later, Jaya.
Bye, Mom. It might hang up, actually. I don't know. We'll have to see. If it doesn't, phone us. Oh, I do get to stay. Somebody is calling. Michael, I need you to get this phone call for me. Thank you. So yeah, if anybody else wants to ask me anything, I'm going to stay on the call until everybody leaves. No. So just in case you didn't remember, my mom is offering $50 off a 1/2 hour reading. So that's a half hour reading. And she gets so much done in a half hour. You really don't need more. So she doesn't even sell more. I mean, she will if you force her, but she just doesn't want to. She's like, what am I doing just to validate my time and the money? She's like, well, you heard her. So every time I see her stuff, I think I want to be her. Oh, that's sweet. Where's her show? Her show is meria.net. It's not a psychic show. I will warn you of that. It's not a psychic show. It's about world news. I'm going to put the info, www.meria.net, maria.net. And on Facebook, you can find her at Worldwide Readings. You can follow her there at Worldwide Readings. I'm reading, I'm making sure. I hope everybody got taken care of. Oh, Joseph, you didn't get in. You're at the end of medical school and work in a foster home. What will happen if I want to adopt? So from what I know about, we were foster parents for a while. I would say if you want to adopt that, you may even want to consider fostering first, because with adoption, you have to prove so many different things. And with fostering, you actually get income from the state, and these kids need help the most. So my advice to you is, why not consider fostering a kid instead of adopting them? This way, it doesn't cause a financial burden at this point in your life. And then at the end of the foster period, you get to decide if you want to adopt them. Did you know that? If they didn't reunite them with their family? So that's one way of doing it, and you could really spread the love. So I hope that answers your question, but that's what I get on that. You're welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you tuned in. I'm probably going to log off in the next minute or two unless anybody else has any more questions. Otherwise, it looks like you liked us together. That's cute. I like doing it with my mom. It's fun. It's nice that we can spend girl time together doing stuff like this. All right, everybody. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to sign out. And hopefully we'll do this again one day. But stay tuned for my live videos, because I have lots of live videos planned and coming. And I do this for a living. So if you have a business and you'd like me to interview and you'd like to reach out to my audience, this is a great place to do it. Just reach out to me and let me know. It's a very hard thing emotionally, Brittany, the fostering of the kids. The worst part for me, just so you know, is I'm a very aggressively hyper person, and I don't sleep without marijuana at all. And I had to quit marijuana, and I did for 4 weeks. And I think I slept like 12 hours in 4 weeks. So I started to lose my mind. So if pot is in your life, it's not going to work for you. Unless you just don't need it at all. If you don't need it, all the power to you. But for me, I'm just like a zombie without it. I will just keep going. I'm crazy. I'll put myself, anything anybody wants to talk about, I'm all about talking. Very liberal. But anyway, that's it. Hugs. Bye, everybody.